Hello and welcome to another episode of Noah Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, fresh from the movie theater, it's the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Yeah, that's right. We are recording this on Thursday, May the 1st. Big day for Marvel fans with the Thunderbolts being out. And I literally just got back from seeing this not too long ago. So get ready for a really good, insightful dive in. Obed, should we maybe talk about some other stuff first, or should I just kick it off with that? How do you want to do this?
Dude, let's talk Andor later. That's the only thing I have. It's Andor.
Okay.
Did I mention? Oh, I did mention that I finished Wukong. I did start
Yes.
Metaphor Refantasio. That is a Persona game, sir. It is a Persona game through and through. It's good so far. I'm only 6 hours in probably, and yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I guess good palate cleanser. I haven't played a turn-based RPG in a long time, and I was very much looking forward to playing this game. So far, it's really good. Again, one of those games, man, that is like, hey, I'm gonna rub in your face what's going on around you right now, but in a fantasy setting, and they do a really good job at it. Like so far, it's been really good. Really good intrigue in the fantasy anime sort of way. I did hear that game that came out, that it's also a turn-based RPG, that Expedition 33, something like that. I heard that's real good. I heard that, so I'll consider that later on. But I have a full rant about video games that I want to cover with you after we talk Andor and Thunderbolts, because something crazy happened today. We'll talk about that, as you can see in this episode's title. But Joel, yeah, man, I want to hear what's up with the Thunderbolts.
All right. So I've been on the record saying Marvel just needs to have 8s. They don't need to go for 10s. And the only projects that I even was saying that they needed to even have that for was just Daredevil and Fantastic Four. Well, my goodness, we just got a really good sweetening of the pot for Marvel fans. Thunderbolts is an absolutely delightful movie. This movie is really good. Like,
I told you, man, that looked good.
But like, bro, it shouldn't be this good, but it's really good.
That's good to hear, though. That's good to hear.
Like, of all the projects, people can pretend like they were in love with the Thunderbolts before. Let's be completely honest. This is very much like a Guardians of the Galaxy type situation where nobody knew about these characters. Yes, in this situation, you have seen these characters in separate projects, and then having them become an ensemble, probably on paper should not have also worked that well. Let's be like a movie selling with the Red Guardian and maybe your biggest name like from the lead is Bucky, and then like obviously from like a film standpoint, Florence Pugh, but Yelena has not been a big character in the MCU. This is really her big breakout. I mean, they really put together a wonderful storyline. Just a really entertaining script, and really entertaining moments, and charming. And, I think that in some ways, when you look at the marketing for this movie, they put it in a way of almost like this is going to be like your comedic Suicide Squad type thing. I don't think that it actually is marketed accurately like that, to Obed. I think that this movie's actually a lot darker than you would think.
Okay.
And I like
I did see like the TV spots with Sentry looked like super menacing and dark. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I'm telling you, it gets, not only does it get dark, but when you get to the build up of your climax, that when I'm sitting there and I'm like reflecting back on this movie, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because this is a non-spoiler reaction.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest. If I would have been in the writers' room and heard how they were setting up the ending, I probably would have said, "This is not good. Don't do this. Like this is not going to work."
Okay.
And it works somehow. And for those of you that when you see the movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about because we all wait for this big, everybody's gonna just throw fists and boss fights and all these different things and whatever, and you get a lot of wonderful action. So the action's there. I'm not saying it isn't, but the way that the culmination, what you're ending to get to this specific thing, is not in the way that many people would have suspected, but it's heavy. Like it's emotionally heavy, dude. Like there are gonna be people who probably cry when they leave this movie, dude.
Wow.
Like Guardians 3, dude. Like in
No
that kind of
way,
way, dude.
man.
In certain yeah, way, dude.
Wow.
Like there's gonna be people who feel like there are people you that's what I think was so special about this. You've heard me say this a few times between Daredevil and some of the other stuff where I'm like, when you get to like the heart of characters, like the reason people love Spider-Man is because there's a relatability behind him.
Right.
I can't draw web. I don't have web slingers. I can't climb on a wall. I don't, like I'm not trying to save the world. I'm not running around New York City like that, obviously. But there's something about Peter Parker that goes into Spider-Man that's like relatable. And when Marvel gets to the heart of their characters and they really get to that core, and they're not trying to just do stuff to do stuff, and call what you will. I'm not saying this in a political sense or in a personal sense or anything like that. But it's like in some ways Hollywood kind of seemed to be like create content around a checkbox first, and the story take a back seat. And this one, you can really tell that they genuinely knew what this movie was going to be about from the beginning, and they stuck to it. It's not very long.
That's
It's
good.
to me it feels like it was separated in like a handful. Like there's only like a handful of scenes. You've seen most of those scenes already in the trailers, but it just flows, and you get through it and you're done and you had a good time and everyone's happy. I'm gonna be shocked if I see many negative reactions. I think most people will be positive. Some people will be super positive. I'm not at the point. I'm fresh out of the theater, right? Like I just saw this thing, so I'm on a high. I'm having a great time. I'm not there at the point. I don't think realistically it'd be good for me to sit here and tell you this is top 10, all time MCU movie. I think I need to stop and digest a little bit more.
Okay.
But I do think this is top 10, maybe top 5 introductory film, because I count this as an introductory film for what will be essentially a new franchise for Marvel.
You could, because the majority of the cast that's in this movie were they were introduced in spin-off movies that didn't do that
Yes.
great or came out during lockdown, and a lot of people missed out on those movies.
Right.
And a middling show on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
And that's great that they stuck to it and they gave this characters an opportunity. And I told you, man, when when they're ramping up marketing for Brave New World, and then the new trailer for Thunderbolts came out, I told you, it's like, dude, Thunderbolts looks way better than Cap. And
Yeah.
I'm
It is better. No,
I'm happy. I'm happy about it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's for sure. And
Yeah.
the people that were with me, I had family with me watching it. They looked at me and they liked Cap a lot.
Yeah.
I was probably more critical of it than they were, and they were like, "This is better than Cap." So
That's
I'm
good.
just telling you,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who like it, like that's a good thing.
That's good. Yeah.
The post credit scenes, and I'm not gonna spoil.
I heard
anything.
it's like
There's
the
2 of
longest
them.
one of all the MCU
Yes.
movies. Yeah.
The second one is the longest one.
Is it
feels like they
leading up for next year, sir? Is it? Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's
And
good.
here's the thing.
That's good.
I think like I saw one person say something like, "Oh, this is probably the best one of the best end credit scenes we've had like since like the last phase or something." I think it's meaningful. Like we finally have a meaningful post credit scene.
Oh yeah, because they've all been like trash.
I-
I think that the more meaningful one was maybe Shang-Chi, and then because it's
Yeah,
alluding
I
to
agree.
to like future stuff, but after
Yes.
that, like not really. So
I agree. I would put it like when you say setup wise, not the same, because people are gonna hear this and say like, "Oh, I think I figured it out." no, I'm not saying this, but like I would put it on par with the Thor Ragnarok post credit scene.
Oh, wow.
With
Okay.
when yeah, like
Dang, dude.
you're like, oh,
That's yeah, bro.
okay, okay,
All
like
right.
that's what I would put on
Okay.
par with. You're like, this is
Sweet.
gonna lead this is gonna lead directly into another project.
That's great. Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Highly recommend people go to the theaters and
Cool.
check this one out. I saw it in Dolby. I know some people were trying to see it in IMAX. Get out there and enjoy it. And really just highly recommend. Marvel between Daredevil and this. As long as Fantastic Four is good and if not great, which
Then we're good to
our
go.
guy that we know is telling us, hey, he thought Thunderbolts was the best, and then he saw Fantastic Four and said that's even better. So we're gonna eat very well this year.
Good.
we're
Yeah,
good.
man. That's
back.
great. That's good. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Like Marvel needed the W for sure.
Yeah.
And that's great to hear. I was and I was like low key rooting for this movie to do good. And
Yeah,
and I'm
you should,
glad
as
and
you
I'm
should.
glad, yeah. And I'm glad that it's that they pulled it off, and I'm hoping it does well in the movie theater. Speaking of, two things real quick. Do you see that the friggin' box office haul from Revenge of the Sith last weekend?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Worldwide,
Yeah.
worldwide, I just saw today. It's that movie's officially crossed 900 million. So it's getting close
Oh,
to the
wow.
$1 billion club worldwide.
Yeah.
That's like considering also like from back in the day, it's box office
Right, right.
now, which different economy, different types of the release and stuff, and anticipation obviously was not as received well as it has grown to be and things like that.
And I bring it up because this morning in the office, someone saw me and said that that there was a Star Wars emergency, so they went and got me. They went and got me, and there was someone in the office that went to the movie theater with friends and watched Episode 3, and it was their first Star Wars movie. And I was like, why? Why do you do that?
You just
I was like,
started
well,
with
at this
3?
point, it doesn't really matter which order you watch the movies. You can start at Episode 1 or Episode 4. It doesn't really matter. I would just start at Episode 1 and just keep going, right?
Yeah,
At this point, there's really no need for to hide Luke and Leia and all that. But like I gave the person a warning. I was like, there's gonna be two things. It's gonna be real awkward now that you know that Luke and Leia are brother and sister when you watch the first two old movies, and also, and this came from a place of this person's younger, so it's like
yeah.
it's like if when you go back watch Episode 4, keep in mind that this movie came out almost 50 years ago, right? There's a lot of stuff that was done in a particular way because that's the way movie making was done back then, right? And granted that this movie pushed special effects and all this into a whole new direction, but keep in mind pacing and writing and cuts and all that, it's almost 50 years old. And I think that's a fair assessment as an old school Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Going to someone that's younger that hasn't watched the movies, it's like you got to keep in mind, right? It's like you go back. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but trying to go back and watching like a tried and true classic like Gone with the Wind. Keep in mind, this movie was made almost 80 years ago or whatever, right? So there's certain things in this movie that you may trigger you. Also,
Dude, you just called out like one of those movies that's considered like such high
dude,
tier. I thought you were gonna pull out some random like, oh, the first Tron movie when they were wearing bicycle helmets.
No,
Like,
Citizen Kane. When you watch that movie, keep in mind that you may fall asleep.
Ooh, wow.
So, and that's, I think that's a fair assumption to make, to like, or a good setting the expectation, right? Especially when you have someone younger that's going into a classic property. It's like having someone that's under a certain age try to go back and watch the old Star Trek show. Like that show's terrible, dude.
Ooh,
Like
yeah. The
and
Trekkies hate you now for
and
saying that.
man, like the old Doctor Who. It's like
Doctor Who,
you
oh,
can't
we're
go
gonna come for
back,
you,
and
bro.
that show was never good, guys. I'm sorry.
They're gonna come for you,
But you
dude.
gotta go and you gotta give people their warning, right? It's like you gotta keep in mind that these things happened a long time ago, and things were done different back then. So I think it's an interesting conversation, and I was like, you know what, at this point, just do whatever you want. It's like this is my suggestion. Just watch it in this order. So I sent the person like my the order that I would watch stuff now that you know that they spoiled themselves into episode 3, but I thought it was funny.
I love that we are the resident, like, when it comes to Star Wars, Marvel, this is like, they know who to call. Like, hold on a second.
Right in the office, it's
We
like they
have
got
a
someone's got
conversation.
a Star Wars question. They gotta call Obed or Joel or someone that's properly equipped to answer these questions for you.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You got the credentials to do it. So no, it's good. It's good. Real quick, we didn't talk about it last week. I don't think it was out though. But Joel, I do have a question for you. Is the Blade movie dead? Is that official?
No, okay. Yes and no. So take what you will with this, and I'm not gonna get anybody in trouble because I've heard from people that I believe and I trust. What was told is that movie is dead, but it's evolved. Then when that project evolved into another project where that character's in another thing, that project has had no movement. So is it one or the other? Maybe dead completely, but that just doesn't, like, it's still hard for me to fathom.
I think it could be
dead.
that. Yeah, I think it could be that the movie itself it's dead, but the character is gonna show up in something else.
Right? Because, like, you just got Mahershala Ali and you have a huge character. Like, I think in my mind, I'm replaying the Deadpool scene. Is like, there's only one Blade and only ever will be.
Right, that's what I thought of.
Spoilers for Deadpool 3, you know? They wink at the camera like, that might be true at this point. Maybe Wesley Snipes was right.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah.
At this point, they could easily bring Wesley Snipes back before they bring Mahershala Ali in.
Honestly, they
And have him in
totally
the Secret Wars or whatever. Because everybody's back in Doomsday. Did you see, not to change up, but did you see the Doomsday stuff with, obviously they just started filming
Right.
this
saw
week, and the report saying that they started doing the X-Men stuff first. And
Oh, really? Okay.
supposedly everybody's in their traditional X-Men, like, comic book accurate costumes, and they're filming in the X Mansion.
Ooh,
Like,
let's go.
like, that's a wild way. If you start,
I
yeah,
could
that is a
like
starter
that
there.
like they set the tone with Wolverine on Deadpool, so like
Yeah.
with the accurate suit, so like it doesn't surprise me. That'd be
Right.
cool. Like if they bring back like Xavier in Doctor Strange in Multiverse, like that was straight from the comics, like his like the suit and the chair, right? Because he never had the big hover chair, and in the X-Men movies, it was like a stylized wheelchair, right? It wasn't really the hover chair. So, yeah, man, that's exciting. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited for it.
Like, that could be a thing. So we'll find out. But
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see when Doomsday starts rolling through.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, sir. Let's talk about Andor. I'm up to episode 4, so I watched one episode this week of the newer episodes. I think you're in the same spot, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the elephant in the room, sir? About episode 3 from last week?
The floor is yours. Let's start.
Okay. I think that this show is the best Star Wars we've ever had. And it's because it emphasizes the war aspect of it, right? Not everything is good and evil. Not everything is cut and dry. There's a gray moral area in the middle that both the rebels, as they established back in Rogue One, and clearly now the Empire, there's lines that were crossed in both ends, and this is the first time that we've seen in live action, because we've known that back in the Legends, like, this stuff was all over the place, right? But now in live action and in Star Wars canon, we are seeing this displays of aggression, a specific aggression towards both from the Empire side and from the Rebels side. I think that the way that specific scene that stirred a lot of controversy out there was done, I don't want to use the word tasteful, because it wasn't, but it wasn't gratuitous. I think that's why how I felt about it. I think it was very realistic. And I know that, everything in Star Wars is like, wishy-washy and like, oh, family friendly, and you gotta keep it a certain way. But just showing that the Empire had no morals, I think it was a very important part. And I say this because a lot of people, especially like Star Wars fans or Star Wars fans, people that call themselves Star Wars fans, sometimes they don't really grasp how evil the Empire was, right? Like, there's words that I cannot say in this video about the Empire because we could get demonetized. But I made comments today about the Empire to that person, and that person was shook. It's like, oh yeah, like, this is like straight up like Z guys, and like space C guys, and think of Palpatine as like the super mustache man, and ruling the galaxy and offing off entire systems and enslaving the Wookiees and other races, right? So, the Empire's evil, guys. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you noticed, right? I don't know if you watched episode 4. And when it says that the rebels are fighting against the evil galactic empire. Yes, guys, the Empire's evil. I don't know. Are you guys really having "Are we the baddies" moment right now with Andor? Like, is Andor the thing that makes you go, "Are we the baddies"? In which case, if it made you realize that, then awesome, right? I think that I respect you for kind of like realizing that you're the baddies, but also I respect Gilroy for making the story in such a way that made you realize it. Like, come on, guys. I think a scene like that I don't think it was needed, but it was also needed because you guys needed to understand, right, that the Empire, like, even though the rebels, right, they go out there and they do these clandestine operations and they blew up the Death Star with thousands of Imperials in there, and they did all this other stuff that with that resulted in collateral damage and all this, right? Even though the rebels did that, the Empire are much, much worse. And I think that's what's at stake here. I think this show is really, really good, dude. And we didn't have to wait too long until like stuff like really started happening, like last season, like the first season, where about halfway through, that's when it really picked up. I think that I think the intent is dividing it by like 3 by 3 episodes, like 3 episodes in 1 year, 3 episodes, and then
Time
there's a
jumps,
time
yeah.
skip. Yeah, there's time skip,
Yeah.
and it's all leading to Rogue One, right? So, man, I mean, it was rough. Like, it was rough, but I think that they needed to show the audience. I think that they had to make it clear to the audience and to the fans that, bro, the Empire is evil. Like you guys, like come on, guys, we gotta let you know. I know Vader's super cool, right? But also, he went into a classroom, and and chaos ensued. So, and then okay, so, right, and I watched Theory. Like I've said it before. Like I watched, if you're not going like out of your way to be a provocateur, I will watch your content. Sure, why not? But like I stopped watching some gaming, a lot of, not some. I will stop watching a lot of gaming content just because they started becoming like that's our stick now, and that's what we do, right? But I think Theory for the most part has played it. He's been very middle ground about a lot of stuff, and that's fine, right? But I think he's totally wrong on this one, man. Like I totally disagree. I think like, oh, Vader wouldn't have approved. I mean, what do you know? Vader probably doesn't really care about what the officers do. Like for all we know, Vader could have just let their officers go and do their thing and whatever. He probably wouldn't bat an eye to that. Like, to be honest with you.
Well, he was Vader, he was Vader, not Anakin.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
people-
Yeah. Because you guys keep conflicting Anakin with Vader, and no,
Yeah.
no. Anakin
the same
Skywalker's
person.
gone. Anakin
gone.
Skywalker came back on Return of the Jedi. Like
Right.
that's the moment he's back. And that all in between, Anakin's dead, dude.
There's not even a slimmer of anything
No.
of that.
Right.
I think people are getting confused with that.
Exactly. Like I know that you guys want that you guys want it to be like there's still good in him, right? But no, there's not. There's not. Like it took like the moment that he's back is at Return of the Jedi. At the end of the Return of the Jedi, that's the return of Anakin Skywalker. That all hole in between, he's Darth Vader.
Which is not to go on a tangent, but that's what I liked. That's actually one of the few things that I did like about the Obi-Wan series is that when Vader's there, he's fully Vader the whole time. Even as like Obi-Wan is like essentially crying out to him
Right.
of like, I am so sorry. I wronged you. You were my brother, and this is not right. And he's like, you have nothing to like that is
I
gone.
did it.
Like I'm
don't
not
care.
him anymore. What are you talking about?
Right, exactly.
Like there's like not even a blink. It's a completely different person, and I like that, like showing that. It's like
Yeah.
at this point, he's fully embraced. He slaughtered children. That was not Anakin that slaughtered the children.
Yeah.
That was Vader.
Yeah. When Obi-Wan sat down with Luke in Dagobah and in Return of the Jedi, and he turns like, well, when he turned, the good man that was your father was gone, and Darth Vader was, he was
Did some
consumed by Darth
bad
Vader.
stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
like there's guys, come on. Like I know that in your heart of hearts you want Vader to be like one little bit of good,
Yeah.
but he wasn't.
He wasn't. He
He
wasn't.
wasn't.
I think like you said it well. You're like, it's bad saying like he's cool. Like you said it like the suit's cool.
Right.
Rogue One, which we're leading to, like awesome. Love it, right?
Right.
Love that.
Yeah.
But it's bad. Like it's not good.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
It's bad, but it's cool, but it's not right. Don't do it, kids.
No,
That's what we're saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're saying. And I think that and a lot of people get conflicted. And it's like, bro, like Vader wouldn't care. Palpatine clearly doesn't care. He knows that this stuff is going around the galaxy, and like, look, bro, It's like, have you looked at the bridge in one of those Imperial Star Cruisers in the original trilogy? It's all white
yeah,
dudes. It's like it's clearly established
yeah.
that
Well,
that
yeah,
the Empire did not like aliens, like that Palpatine did not like aliens, and all of the that's why all of the officers, with the exception of Thrawn, and there's a very specific reason why,
yes,
right?
yes.
And but all the officers are white dudes.
And
Guys.
their costumes look really close
Yeah.
to something else.
Come on, guys.
That's
Like,
a whole nother conversation for another thing, but I just want you to look at the costumes.
like it's been almost 50 years and you're having your "Are we the baddies" moment. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
seriously. Seriously,
it's
guys.
and like it's fiction, so I understand.
Right.
Like, but there's a art reflects the real world, and so there's clearly influences in these things. But like, so I think that's a part of it that I do like get like where like I like there's some people who are like, oh, like I love the Empire and I love this whatever. It's like you have to know that they're the bad guys in your mind. Like you have to still
Right.
know they're the villain, but you just think it's like you just for some reason are into that. Like it's like the people who like watch like who are like you're fans of DC and you love the Joker. Like you know the Joker's the bad guy. Like you're not gonna convince me that he's a good person. You know what I mean? There's no way around it. Forget that. Even the solo movie and whatever. Like even the movie proves that he's actually a bad person. Like
Right.
in the end, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, but if you're a fan of that character or something, I get it. Like, you're doing the same thing right now with the Empire and the Star Wars world stuff. Like there's parts of it that I understand. It's like maybe you just like find this, but like you still know it's the bad. You can't tell me that these are the good guys in the end. Like you can't convince me otherwise.
Come on.
There's no way around that.
Come on,
like,
guys.
You could, like if this, like if you want to be a fan of this fantasy world and these characters and whatever, like you do that. But
I think
I
I
can
can make
convince me,
I think I can make a real world example and not get in trouble with monetization. Ninjas, right?
Okay.
Ninjas are super cool, but
Yeah.
we all know that those guys like roamed around the shadows and what we all know what we do. Like they played Assassin's Creed in real life, basically. That's what they did,
Basically.
right? And they weren't necessarily good guys, right? But they're
Right.
super cool. But no,
They're super cool.
but
yeah.
no, but yeah. All right. I mean, it's a
Good example.
I-
Example. Yeah.
but no, man. I think the whole dynamic, and I think again a lot of like. Can I use? I'll use the word, Joel. You'll excuse me. I will go PG-13 for a second. It's like when with during the dance sequence with Mon Mothma. It's like. And you dumbasses are out here saying that, oh, she doesn't care. It's like, what, look at what they did to her character. It's like, bro, that is super deep and you didn't get it? It's like, really? Like, she's here, like getting drunk and dancing because, like, yeah, she saw that her childhood friend was gonna get offed for being a traitor to the rebellion, and
Yeah.
she had to give away her daughter to an arranged marriage. And it's like, and
It wasn't a good day.
it wasn't a good day, dude. It wasn't a good day. Are you serious? Like why? Like, honestly, man. Like, how are you not seeing this?
No, totally. And I think like this is where like we've had this discussion from season 1 where like Andor is Star Wars for the adults. Andor is a very non-Star Wars show. Many will say it's the best Star Wars show of all time because of this and this. I understand those people. To me, it's like almost like your Nolan, which is this is actually like a positive thing for them. That's like your Nolan films where it's like it's
Heck yeah.
not really a superhero movie. It's just like a well-made thing. Like there's other things that I might watch that give me more like I feel personally more of a Star Wars connection when I watch The Mandalorian than when I watch Andor. But Andor still is Star Wars. Like, I'm not saying it isn't. It's just Mando plays in the sandbox of nostalgia, and it
Right.
does all these things. That's like, it's like the very like silly. It takes me back to like the childhood Star Wars POV
exactly.
that maybe I have. Right? Oh, look at the cool Razor Crest and this thing
And
and the
Grogu
Force
and the thing, yeah.
Grogu, and it's
And
cutesy and it's
Luke,
fun and
yeah.
it's adventure and like okay, I'm looking. You know, you get to 35-minute episode, whatever, and we're good.
Right.
That's not the case with Andor.
No.
You put Andor on, and it deals with some heavy duty stuff, and you know, it's a tough show. But they know what they're going for. They're consistent, and I think as you know that going into it, then you understand what you're watching.
It's
And I
good.
think it's good to have flavor in that
Yeah,
way.
man.
Having like they can't all be the same.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Now, just doing it in a way that's obviously not going to ruin canon. And this hasn't done that. Like, I think that's the important thing for people to understand. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't ruining anything that we've seen from before. It's just adding more lore. And if you don't like it, then don't watch it. That's
Yeah.
okay. And I'm not mad at you for not doing that. You didn't like The Acolyte and you didn't watch it. Like, you have
No,
a choice.
I
That's
didn't.
okay.
Yeah. And the thing with Andor, and like again, yeah, it goes back to I remember saying that back when season 1 came out, it's like the Mandalorian was for the kid in me, and then Andor was for the grown up in me, right? And
Yeah.
they do a really good job at it, man. And you know, a lot of fans wanted a gritty, you know, more mature Star Wars, and we have it, and it's great. Enjoy it,
Yeah.
guys, because like we don't know if like this show's not gonna be back, and we don't know if they're gonna tell stories like this anymore. And
Right.
and so we should just go ahead and enjoy it, honestly. So
Because next week we get the Tales of the Underworld coming out
coming
next
out
week.
Sunday, right?
For May the 4th. May the
Yeah.
4th or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's on May the 4th, yeah.
Sunday, May the 4th. And then so that'll be cool. Ahsoka comes out next year. There's some cool rumors of things going on around with that series.
Yeah.
But like you said, Andor won't be back. There's literally no way from this standpoint. This
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
Marvel with the multiverse. Like,
No,
it's done.
yeah.
You know? And that's okay. Like,
Unless
you
unless
enjoy
they
for
pull
what
off
it
a
is.
Gundam, what's the Gundam show? There was a Gundam show, 8th MS Team. So I'm gonna put a spoiler out there, just because 8th MS Team is really good, and it's more of an OVA. It's not. It's like a mini series actually, but 8th MS Team ended with the protagonist sacrificing himself to save the himself alongside his counterpart to save you know, the rest of the team, or was it the rest of the team or something, right? I can't remember. I watched it 20 some years ago. So they did a movie after the miniseries was done, and at the end of the movie we found out that they had survived the huge explosion. He lost a leg, like the protagonist lost a leg, but they were both alive and they were living like in a jungle setting, like secluded away from the war, right? I mean, like I don't want them to do that because it will minimize the sacrifice of Rogue One. But you know, what if like at the end of the show we get it's like, oh yeah, like Cassian and Jyn Erso actually survived, and they're hiding in a jungle planet where no one can find them, living away
Bad
from
Batch
the war.
style.
Yeah, exactly. The Bad Batch style. Yeah. They did it in Bad Batch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But I'm enjoying the show. I'm looking forward to it. So,
Yeah, I agree.
All right, sir. Are you ready to open up the wallet? If you were not willing so far, you're probably not gonna be willing to go through these prices. So
here we
Xbox
go.
this morning, sir, out of nowhere, expectedly unexpected, Microsoft put out a statement that effective immediately, everything's gonna go up. Not only everything's gonna go up, first party titles releasing towards the end of the year are going to go up to $80. So they're following Nintendo. I told you that this was going to open the doors wide open. This was going to kick the doors wide open for developers, publishers to start charging more for base games. I still stand by GTA is going to be 100. But here's Microsoft saying our first party games are going to be 80. Like our big titles, AAA titles, quadruple A titles, whatever they call it. So that's that. That's a big deal. Let's go and do a rundown of the price changes for the Xbox lineup, sir. Xbox Series S, 512 gigs, originally $299, is going up to $379. The 1 terabyte model is going up to $429 from $349. Series X digital from $449 to $549, $100 more. The regular Series X from $499 to $599, $100 more. The 2 terabyte, the special edition Series X, from $599 to $729. Controllers are gonna go up. Core controller going up to $64. I think that's $60 right now. Color controllers going up to $69. I think accessories are like $5 more, with the exception of the Elite. I think that's going up by like $30. I think that's $170 right now. Oh, $179.99 is going up to $199.99. And then everything else is going up. $5 on the controls lineups, $10 on the core Elite controller, and their headset is going up $10. So Nintendo announced that everything was going to go, everything for the Switch 2 was going to go $5 more on accessories. Here's the Xbox, sort of doing the same thing with the accessories, but the consoles, bro, $729 for an Xbox Series X. I can add for $729, dude. I can scrape the internet and I can build a nice PC for that amount of money. I mean, it's probably not going to be as strong as a Series X, but it'll get me there. I have lots of opinions, but I'm gonna let you go first, sir.
Well, you predicted in general the industry was going to see this happen, so here we are. not too surprising. I think the hard pill to swallow is the current gen consoles and accessories seeing some of these steepest price hikes that I steeper than I imagined. This is significant, and this is for a specific brand that has not seen the strongest sales. So, how are you going to sell people to spend more money for something they already weren't as actively adding to their collection, per se? I mean, Obed, the Series S, that alone, going from $299 to $379, going up $80
for that console, bro.
For that console,
for a console that they're saying, like, based on excuse me, on the Switch 2 previews that happened last week, like, people are saying that Street Fighter 6 looks better on the Switch 2 than it looks on the Series S. Yeah.
Right. I mean, why would I not go ahead and just fork over the same thing with the Series X digital in the price? Like, why would I not just go ahead and just get a Switch 2?
Right.
I think it's a hard sales pitch. Listen, we're seeing we costs and things we were joking about and telling people, like, okay, like, this is, we're not happy about it, but, like, this is how things are going to be going, and you warn people very well, very eloquently, gave good use cases. But when it comes to this one, I feel a little bit different in the sense that I think they're going to start pricing out some people. Like, I actually think that there are going to be, when I say pricing out, it's just because of what the value in comparison to their competitors. Like, they're going to start having to take more of a back seat because, like, you know, little Billy's already working hard to save up his money, and then he's gonna have to see these price hikes. He's gonna be like, why am I gonna spend for this thing and I can go get this other thing? Like, it was a better pitch. You know,
Right.
if your man's has student loan debt and he's trying to like get a console here, he's not gonna say he's not gonna say that this is the thing he's probably gonna want to spend his money on. And you're gonna probably say, sorry, like Christmas is coming around. I don't know that we're gonna want to get this. We're gonna get the Switch too because everybody wins in that case. Like, families are going to have to make sacrifices and changes, dude. It sounds funny like saying this, and I'm not trying to take shots at people. I'm just saying, like, I think there's gonna be like a reality check economically, and then in a mixture with the value of what's being offered directly from these specific brands. That's gonna cause the how would you the console? I don't want to say console war because it's not exactly that, but it's like, you know, the competitiveness in the console space. That, like you said, people might completely ditch this and just go, you know, I'm gonna go full PC. Like, I might, like, people are gonna have to make, like, this is gonna cause people
Yeah.
to change, just like their usual. There are people who will be like lifelong Xbox people, whom this might be the reason that they suddenly change and give a chance to something else.
And I brought it to you last week because we didn't talk about it last week, but 2 weeks ago, PlayStation announced that pricing in Europe, the PS5 in Europe is going to go up, but it's I think it's a $40 difference for across the board for PS5s.
Yeah.
But this Xbox thing with like $80 and $100, dude. That's a lot.
Right.
It's a lot. And the software thing, I mean, once Nintendo came out and did the thing with Mario Kart, like we like I knew that this was coming, right? The thing what gets me with Xbox is like you were supposed to have like the affordable option for consoles, and now the affordable option is the PS5 digital. Because I would rather a million times get a PS5 digital than get a Series S. I mean, I'm getting a better console overall. So, dude, I don't know, man. They're gonna start pricing out. They're gonna start to price out people. What's gonna happen next year when they supposedly next year they're gonna release their new console? Is that gonna take that $729 price? Is that gonna be $799? What?
Oh, wow.
Is that?
Oh, man.
I mean, if the tariff thing doesn't end, dude.
Yeah.
By the time the new Xbox come out, dude. It could be $800, $900, dude.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. And
it's not good.
It's not good. It's not good. But as with Andor, I guess there are lessons to be learned. There's a bunch of people out there that I wish, I told you so, and y'all did things based on vibes, so it's your problem now, and so it's all of our problems, but it's your problem. I said I will play a tiny violin every time someone complains, and I have been doing so. So, yeah, man, it's rough. It's rough. Like, something's gonna happen, right? The prices are not going down. The prices are not gonna go down. Like, period. Right? And people out there saying, "I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stick with PC and do PC." Dude, like so those graphics cards are out of control too. Like, those prices are crazy. Yeah, those prices are crazy. I guess the good thing with PC is that you could buy, like say for example, I need to make some upgrades on my PC. I've been looking at getting like a Ryzen 7 that's compatible with my the highest compatible model Ryzen 7 that's compatible with my motherboard. I'm looking at around $160 to $180 depending on the day of the week, depending on the website. There's many factors, right? And then I'm looking at a graphics card That's anywhere from 300 to 330. Again, depending on the model, depending on what I'm looking at, depending on the site. So, just on those two things, that's 300 plus 150. Say, that's already 450. That's a console. Like if you're a gamer on a budget, it's still cheaper to just get a console, and you don't have to worry about finagling around with settings and whatnot. Now the thing is that Steam, a lot of people still think that Steam now is not the old Steam. Like they're not as aggressive with those sales. Yeah, they do some really good stuff. They put out some really good sales, but they're not as aggressive as they were, 10, 12 years ago, when everyone was like, oh, Steam summer sales here. I got $50 and I can get myself like 7 games for those $50. And those times are gone. Like those games are not going down as much as they used to. And then you still have the same problem that we're having. Like these games are going to go up to $80 across the board, not just on consoles. Like these games are going up on PC as well. Like whenever the next Call of Duty comes out at $80 on Xbox and PlayStation, it's going to be $80 on PC. Like there's not, and a lot of people saying it's like, oh, well, with cost of manufacturing, no, it doesn't matter. That's the price of the game. Like cost of manufacturing right now for discs is like $1. I think like gaming's not over. In my case, right? This is my specific case. I think I'm done pre-ordering. I think I'm done buying day one. I think I'm just gonna, if I want a game, I'll just get it whenever, right? At this point, I'm willing to just start going all digital, because it's like unless it's something like, I don't know, the next Final Fantasy VII, like Part 3. That I'll get the deluxe edition or whatever. But if it's a game like, I don't know, like Death Stranding 2, I'm willing to go digital on that. I'm willing to go digital on Metal Gear on the remake. The Ghost of Yotei, if it's a good, like a special edition or something that I get, I may go digital on that too. Like I think I'm to that point where digital is going to start making sense for a lot of people, and if you wait it out, especially on like PlayStation, and you wait for the like the season sales, like the spring, summer, and the Christmas sales that they usually do during the year, you can find some really good stuff, dude. Like that, those PlayStation sales, I think, like honestly, those PlayStation sales are sometimes better than the Steam sales. Like you can buy like games with DLC for like $9, and Steam sales are. The good thing with Steam sales is that you can keep your eye out for like humble bundles and get a bundle for like $20, and it includes like 5 really good games. Yeah, that's awesome, right? But you gotta be on top of it. That's with PC, and and just the process and maintenance of a PC is not for everyone. So there is an appeal on consoles, but in my case, I think I'm just done with buying day one stuff. Like I'll buy whenever I'm ready to play it, and not have stuff like collecting dust until then. So
yeah, it's different.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we're in an interesting spot. We're in a very interesting spot. I know that PlayStation's going to come out soon on their games and say, yo, Ghost I don't think Ghost of Yotei is out for pre-order, and I think that's going to be their first $80 game. Let me see.
Prediction, here we go. Might happen.
Let's see. If I go on shopping, it's not up for pre-order yet, dude. There's no price on that game. That game's going to be $80.
But you need to bring back the lightsaber of truth.
The lightsaber of truth.
And then
it needs batteries. Oh, it needs a new Kyber crystal.
But depending on what happens in this world, maybe some good things happen for us sooner or later. We might need to make a trip to Disney and get some
Yeah,
lightsabers.
get the legit ones. Yeah, yeah,
Might
yeah.
to do that, buddy.
Yeah, man. That's my prediction. Write it down. Ghost of Yote is gonna be Sony's first $80 game, and I still stand by. GTA is gonna be 100. Like 2K is gonna go and say it's like, now we can do whatever we want. At this point, it's a free for all. It's not gonna crash. People are gonna still buy games. That being said, a lot of, like, I know that you have PS1, PS2, and you have some older stuff, but like what's gonna happen, dude, is like younger gamers and they're gonna go back and it's like, oh, I want to get a Wii because that's what I used to play when I was a kid and I lost my Wii, and I'm gonna go back and buy it. And I think we're all in the same spot. Like, I invested a ton of money on the Saturn this year, and I'm still willing to spend more money on the Saturn, just because it's something that was special to me back in the day, and and I wanted to have it back. But at the same time, it's like gaming is getting so strange right now that we might as well just start trying to do something. But yeah, man, it's tough. And now with like companies stopped shipping stuff to the US, like, and like all those, like, if you're into retro gaming and trying to get a scaler, now they're expensive, or they're you can't find them. So if you're remotely interested in retro gaming, now's the time to grab a scaler, grab a console, commit to it, and buy some games, because things are gonna get out of control, man. And you gotta, if you love your hobby, you gotta be on top of it too. So, but
random side thing. I was thinking about this the other day. Man, I miss Radio Shack.
Dude,
Man.
so I was I have a not a tub, but kind of like a basket almost, back here in the shelf. You can't see it because it's in the bottom one. Where I have all my retro controllers and everything, right? And I was pulling out stuff because I was like, I need to reorganize this thing. And so over the weekend, I went back, bought some plastic bags, like Ziploc bags, and put all the controllers and everything in Ziploc bags. That way they don't get dinged, they don't get bent, they don't scratch the paint or anything. And then I had a PS1 memory card that I had gotten for my PS2 to play Final Fantasy VII back in the day.
Wow.
Right. And then my daughter's looking at this memory card. It's like, what? This is a 1 megabyte memory card? It's like, yeah, the 1 meg memory card for the PS1. You can't even fit a picture from an iPhone in one of those things. Not right now. And she flips it. It's like, what's Radio Shack? And it was it was a generic memory card from Radio Shack, dude. And my daughter's like, what, Radio Shack? It's like, oh, like Radio Shack with this. It was like an electronics shop, and they sold like electronic parts, and sometimes they'll sell like console accessories. So yeah, dude, it's Radio Shack. Dude, my dad used to go a lot to Radio Shack. Oh, you froze. Oh, Joe froze. Oh no. Oh, you're coming back now. Oh no. Oh, you're frozen. Oh, boo. We'll wait for Joel. Or we take a break. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. So yeah, Radio Shack, sir. I was saying like when you went away, I was saying that Radio Shack was like my dad's favorite store. We used to go there all the time. Just
Dude,
just check it out and poke around the electronics and speakers and whatnot. So that's
there's always
interesting.
something you would spot there that you didn't realize maybe you needed or really wanted. And you're like, huh, it's fascinating. But the convenience of that shop and like now Amazon basically took it out in Best Buy. But
Right.
even then, there was just such a convenience of being able to walk in and grab that part and walk right out. It was like Home Depot for nerds, man. It was
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah, I have a couple of things from Radio Shack. I think I have a surge protector. I think the surge
Wow.
protector that we use on our microwave is from Radio Shack, and my soldering iron. So I have a soldering kit that I
Wow.
got at Radio Shack back in the days, and I still have it. So I've had that kit for like 20 years. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, dude, Radio Shack.
Kids will never know.
Holy crap, man. Yeah, did I tell you that I actually worked at a Radio Shack once?
No.
Oh no.
What?
Yeah, I worked at Radio Shack
No
for a
way.
holiday season PR. It was holidays 2004.
In
Yeah,
PR.
in PR. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
One of the busiest times of the
Cause we
year.
had, well, yeah, because we had gotten back, right, and then we went back in to PR in 2004. We came back in 2006, right?
Right, right.
So that holiday season 2004, I worked at seasonal holiday at Radio Shack.
Wow.
Yeah, sold a ton of Monster cable,
Wow.
dude. Took a bunch of people, sold a bunch of Monster cable. They gave me like a Monster cable, like license plate. I think I have it somewhere.
That's amazing, dude.
Cause,
That is
Cause it
awesome.
was like, yo, you're like Monster cable expert. It's like, yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
use on my PS2.
yeah. He knew exactly.
Dude, it's like and then they got, I remember they had some GameCubes, like a GameCube bundle for the holidays, and I made the setup with like a portable TV and the GameCube, and the manager was like, oh, that's
You
really
sold
nice.
that thing.
I was like trying to sell that thing, dude, but yeah, man, retail is a whole different monster. But I totally
And the
forgot,
holidays too.
bro. I totally forgot about that. You just made me remember that. That
I
was a
love story
hidden
time.
memory. Unlocked a
You
forgotten
might
memory.
need to.
You know
That's
what?
what I'm saying.
I may have. I don't remember, but I probably. Yeah.
Memory lane.
Yeah. I probably have. Speaking of, I didn't have it. I'm not ready to publish
Yeah.
to say it publicly, but it's yeah. Almost there, man.
Yeah.
Almost
Okay.
there. So we'll
Wink,
talk.
wink,
But
nod, nod.
yeah,
Soon.
when it's ready, I'll talk about it. So
Okay. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Sir, always a pleasure. Next week,
Always.
more than likely, is gonna be a stream.
Yep.
Rivals, maybe my rivals, unless something else comes out that we could. You know what? I'm gonna before we jump into rivals, dude. Here's what we should do next week. Let's see if there's people in Battlefront, and we can play Battlefront.
Yeah, I think there is. I think
Yeah,
there still is.
yeah.
Honestly,
If there's people in Battlefront, we can jump in it, and we do Battlefront. Let's go.
I'm pro.
All right, great,
Jeez.
sir. Let's
All
go ahead and
right.
wrap it up.
Everybody, thank you so much for sticking with us and staying tuned to our show today, despite even the little technical glitch at the end. Appreciate it. We want to encourage you to stay tuned, stay subscribed. We're on podcast platforms of your choice, places like SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Music. Find us, subscribe to us. Really appreciate it. You also can subscribe to the video version if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much. Subscribe on YouTube, like those videos, drop a comment. All the YouTubers say it's because that is a way to support our show by just literally using your actions, clicking some buttons, doing some cool stuff. Really helps us out. Also, if you would consider following us on social media at No Load Time, at No Load Time. No socials have been a little dead. We're coming back. We've got good reasons, but we're coming back here. So make sure you follow us on social media at No Load Time. If you're watching the video version, you'll see the handles down below. Additionally, if you want to support our show financially, you can do that only if you can, and that would be on our Patreon. Patreon.com/no load time. That's patreon.com/no load time. As little as $1 a month, you can support our show. Shout out to producer Tony. Thank you for supporting us. Last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, you can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. And potentially what we'll even do is talk about what you sent in on a future show, unless, of course, you're asking us about a game that we didn't develop. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We will see you again next time.